So rimfire guys, airgun guys, tiny little SBRs or braced pistols like what you're seeing here, it could be a pretty ideal setup. I don't have match ammo with me. Normally I shoot out of this Summit Precision barrel with the Anechoic X suppressor on the end. I shoot SK semi-auto, and that shoots really, really nice, fairly consistent out of this Ruger Charger pistol build. I do have the Kid Innovations trigger. Thank you to Kid for sending that out as well. A few sponsors there, but GPO is not one of them. Now, the only way I was able to make the GPO work was by using an Anarchy Outdoors 30 MOA Ruger rail, and they saved the day. That's what it is. It has a bubble level in the back, which is awesome, and I can actually see it. And I had some low rings. I was able to get this nice and tight to the barrel, and it's just a really cool setup. But it would not have worked without that Anarchy Outdoors scope base for the Ruger 1022. If you want a scope base that has a bubble level in it, or you need 30 MOA and you don't want to pay a lot of money, you need to check out Anarchy Outdoors. They have the best Ruger upgrades. They have a whole lot of stuff on their website, and I'm just discovering it now. I really like it, and I need to upgrade the rest of my Ruger rifles with what they have. I've already done the Ruger Precision rifle, and you can watch that video if you want to see more about how to upgrade your Ruger Precision Magnum or Ruger Precision rifles out there. Anarchy Outdoors is the brand and the place to go. Now, because it has 30 MOA, I can finally use some of that internal elevation. The image is decent. It's not amazing, but it is decent. And I can see into these shadows and the dark spots here. I'm going to be able to shoot some. I'll shoot at some clays. I might even hit a few here at 330 in this wind. I don't know if you can see the tip of that flag, but it is quite switchy and windy, and it's cold. It's about 39 degrees, so not very warm. But all those conditions aside, this thing's pretty consistent, and I'm surprised for a pistol just how well it can do. A lot of that has to come back to Summit Precision, no doubt, on that barrel. Let's try it out and see what we can do. Alrighty, I just have Federal Auto Match. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to make some corrections, and hopefully it feeds, better than usual. I'm going to start with a clay that is, let's see, I know you can see some of these clays. There's one above, 14, 15, 16, and then what else is out there? Yeah, let me see what my camera, or my Maven spotter is looking at. 14, 15, 16. Yeah, you can kind of see those. That'll work. I'm going to start with that. I'm just going to make corrections on the fly, do what I can with the reticle, and then I will need to focus that. I'll shoot this on 10 power, and that should be plenty enough. I can easily spot my misses this close. Okay, so there's the first clay. It's a pretty open reticle. And with really open reticles like that, obviously it's very quick to make corrections if it's close to the reticle, but not having windage, like a tree. Not having a tree means the further I get away from that center crosshair and the lines, the less reference I have for quick corrections. Now, this is quite a toss, and obviously I'm shooting ammo that doesn't perform ideally in this gun, but I was able to get a few of them to be relatively close. I'd be on steel for sure. I have a 2/3 size IDPA up there, and I wouldn't have any issues with that. I had no issues spotting whatsoever. I'm going to move it up to 12 power for the next set. I feel very comfortable with this optic, and the eye relief isn't great, but I can get up here behind it, which typically with braced pistols is just not very comfortable. So again, it's providing a solution to a problem. I don't usually find something that's compact enough that I would throw it on a Ruger Charger pistol, like what you're seeing here, but this, absolutely I would. And my data is technically, I'm gonna make the correction, I can only dial 17 mils. I can get 17 mils out of it, which is great. Have that revolution indicator on the top to see where you're at. So 17 mils, and then I have to hold from there. And so I was actually holding 1 mil, 18 mils is where I was at for my data with Federal Auto Match, which really doesn't fly all that good out of this barrel, but the other brands seem to do just fine. Like I said, SK Auto Rifle, or what is it called? No, not Auto Rifle. SK Semi-Auto, that's what it is. SK Semi-Auto would be way better than this, but it's kind of spendy. All right, well, I apologize about that. I just checked my spotter, and I found that my spotter camera died during that, which is super lame because I needed to record some more stuff tonight. It's always a trouble with cold weather. Well, anyways, I was able to repeatedly hit some clays. I double tapped a clay at the end there, and then I was very close. I was about a half mil off left and right, judging on the wind. And as long as I read those wind calls, relatively well, it seems like I can wind up hitting a clay, which is, let's see, that's about 2 MOA. It's a little under that. It's about a 2 MOA target at 330 with a very short 9-inch carbon fiber barrel, has a can on it, and I'm using a brace. So that's not too bad. And the image quality is sustaining what I need. The clarity is good enough. Color fidelity is good enough. The edge of the glass is good enough that I can really use it in a lot of ways. And actually, that stepless illumination, about this time of the day, I can start using it, and it works really well. Something else that some people will see as a negative, I don't, but the parallax, the numbers just don't line up. I actually find that depth of field is, poor on short, compact scopes, all of them. It's going to be poor comparatively to other optics. This one's not as bad as some that I've tried, but it's still not good, and the numbers aren't even close. I've heard some conflicting information on this, and I don't care. It's fine. It's just not even close. At 300 yards, I was at 75 about on the wheel, and it doesn't matter. Whatever. No big deal. Just something to point out. Now, again, I have to remind you that I could not do this without that Anarchy Outdoors rail. The way that this comes set up from the factory is you have no downward travel, which is kind of interesting. It makes it a little frustrating when you have to go back and reset things and move it around from rifle to rifle and rail to rail. Just a little bit frustrating the way it's configured, but it's not that big of a deal, and I was able to get it. It's just that top piece that has poor quality metal that made me a little frustrated. But with that rail, I'm able to reach out pretty far. So right now, 17 mils, and 1 second. So I can get 37 mils out of this optic. I think that's pretty impressive. That means that I can take this to 530 yards. Now the illumination is just the crosshair, which is excellent for hunting and close range target practice. If you are hoping for kind of the full T to be illuminated, it is not, but it's a great illumination. It is stepless, which isn't ideal for every type of optic. For this one, I'm not going to complain about it. I actually think I kind of like it, and it does get fairly bright. It's easily bright enough for the conditions I'm in right now, whether I'm on a sunny spot, a white spot that's still in the sun, or I'm in a shadow, moving it around. The contrast is really, pretty good. If this was a 34mm optic, I think I would like it even more. Just personal preference. The only problem is it would start to weigh more, and it's a nice lightweight optic. There's a lot of good things going for it. The clicks are a little mushy. The parallax numbers don't line up. The top of the turret is a little soft. I know that sounds like I'm giving a lot of critique. I'm just showing you up front so you know what you're getting into, that it's not a perfect optic, but it totally has captured a piece of the market that nobody else has touched very much, which is very compact optics that have a zero stop, have generally reliable tracking, which I believe this has been reliable so far, and has some other nice features, as well as a great brand reputation, which GPO has a great brand reputation in my opinion. And then they also have warranties for their products, which are realistic and reasonable. So I like it. I think it's pretty good. Is it worth it for you? I'm not even going to answer that question because, again, I don't have a partnership with GPO right now. But for me, I'm actually pretty satisfied. I'm happy with it. I haven't bought an optic in years. That's the truth. I haven't paid full price for much in years. And I did buy this. And for what it's saying and for what it's worth, I'm happy with this setup and the capabilities I have in the optic. I don't see anything else in the market that could do what this is doing at the price point. Next step up would be March, and I would be very, very happy with those March optics, but most of us can deal with the limitations of the GPO versus the March prices, which are going to be north of $2,000 for a similarly configured optic. Better image, I think, but not really to the degree where I'm willing to pay $2,000 or $3,000. So just my opinion. Okay, I turned off my mic. I know it's going to be pretty windy and obnoxious, but maybe you'll be able to hear the steel target. Hopefully you guys can hear that over the wind. I'm not sure you can. Double taps. The triple taps are easy. So on 10 power, those triple taps were easy, and that's a 2/3 size IPSC, so it's a big target and stuff, but it's fun. It's a really fun optic. I like it. I enjoy it. I suppose I would even say that I recommend it for certain applications. If you guys have any questions, you can comment down below, and I will try to get to those. But like I said, I have a lot of other content to get to, so give me a little time. And if you want to see more with this, maybe let GPO know down in the comments that you want to see more of this product, more like it, and more content from me on this brand. Thank you to Kid Innovations for sending out this trigger. It's like the best trigger ever. Their flat trigger. Love this so much. Anarchy Outdoors, huge supporter of the channel. Anarchy Outdoors knew that I needed some better rails. I needed 30 MOA built in. Excuse me. And this one has a bubble level in the back, so I can actually remove my bubble level on top. I'm going to use the bubble level in the back and put this on another rifle, so it'll save me some money. That's cool. Summit Precision sent out this shorty carbon fiber barrel. It's still very, very accurate, even though it's much, much lighter. And then Anechoic sent out their Anecho X22, which is an awesome can, very, very lightweight, and I find it to work well for sound suppression. So let's go ahead and throw a few out there with, I'm going to use SK Biathlon. That's something I prefer. I don't have a lot of it left, but it seems to fly a little better as it's getting cooler, and it's in the upper 30s now. This evening with the sun going down, and as the temperature changes, that stuff seems to outperform the others. So enough talk, now let's shoot. It looks like it's about right. So kind of per the usual, I've shot right up to my last minute of light, and I'm looking at the image. That was on 12 power. 12 power, just slightly dimmer. I moved to 8 power. It does look better, looks brighter. I moved to 4 power. The eye box is a little goofy because I'm maxed out for elevation. It looks clipped. Yep, the image is clipped. Reticle is still mostly usable. Illumination is definitely usable. I decided I like the illumination. I think it's decent. Even though it doesn't have off in between, it's stepless. I think I do like the illumination overall for practical use. Going back up to 8 power. 8 power is a really good magnification for this reticle. Looks good. I can see everything really clean. Actually, at 6 power, it still works, but it's just a little small for me. I don't know if you can hear those. Hopefully you can, but with my microphone, maybe not. So at 330 yards, I can contrast well, even in low light. When I bump it up to 14 power, at 14 power, image is a little dull. Because I'm maxed out in elevation, looks a little funky. It's not quite as clean, and that should be expected. I'm not surprised by that, nor should anybody be surprised. That's 2 hits freehand. I mean, I guess I'm resting on my knees. It's pretty cool. I find that this little setup, first of all, is a mean little setup. I can deal with a short eye relief on a 22. On this, I can deal with a glass quality on this for this application. Let's take 7 out of that. Let's see what that does to the image. Oh yeah, way better, way better. If I'm not running it out to the max extreme ends of range, it's actually it's a pretty usable eye box and image. Sensitivity behind the scope isn't quite so much. It's more comfortable. It's not clipping the image. And because I got that Anarchy Outdoors 30 MOA rail installed on here, that's an absolute must for this scope. The scope has to be run with some sort of canted rail or canted rings because of the way that it's sent from the factory. The factory presets are a little interesting on this one, in my opinion. But even at sundown, I can get plenty of observational power at 300 yards on 10 power. I mean, it's sundown right now, guys. It's pretty much past it. That one didn't go in all the way. Oh, it's so dirty. There's no forward assist on these little 22s. That's not bad for offhand. So I like the package. I like how compact it is. Obviously, that's a big part of it, being a compact scope. It seems to fit nicely on this little package that I have set up right here. I do a lot of low light hunting and shooting with this package, and it's almost always going to be suppressed. So this is basically it right there. I probably could add a red dot to this. I think what I'll do is get some better rings, like a one-piece ring mount. I'll get rid of this bubble level, and I'll have a red dot piggyback on top of here for the really close stuff. And I think that'll set me up the way that I like to be set up for a little hunting rig like this, which is pretty much what it is. It's a plinking hunting rig. It's a plinking hunting scope. That's, I don't know, that's the designation I see something like this as. I don't take it as a really serious optic, although it is a very good optic for what it is. I don't know of anybody else who's putting in a zero reset and zero stop on an optic that's a compact optic, a true compact optic like this, with plenty of internal elevation, has that second revolution indicator, which is uncommon. Even at the price point, I think it's uncommon. Has stepless illumination and a functional reticle. So they did a good job. GPO, I like this. I think it's worth buying at the price point at MSRP. I think this is worth it, as long as a person knows there are some limitations compared to a traditional scope. The eye relief isn't going to be the same. You do have limited internal elevation. Your image is going to degrade as you max it out, and it's preset from the factory, so you have no downward travel, only upward travel, which is unique. It's a little bit interesting, but not problematic if you're willing to just do your homework and get a proper pair of rings or a proper pair or a proper rail. Rather, I think you can make this work really well and do what I'm doing. I mean, I'm making 325, 330 yard offhand shots with this little 22 on a 2/3 size IDPA. That's not terrible. It's not the worst. I've done worse, for sure. Thank you to some of the subscribers who have helped me get this far in my channel. Thank you for the brands that have worked with me and set things out so I can build little pistols like this. It's really fun. If there's anything else about this that you have questions about, go ahead and comment down below. I might do a couple follow-up videos to this to tell you more about it. But other than that, I think it's a good optic in general for what it is. Just don't think that this is going to replace like a traditional rifle scope, because it's not.